What is meant by fermentation in food processing techniques?
Valid point. Decomposition by microorganisms is true. The following are the wastage in fish processing except one. Bravo! Skin of fish is the answer. Which food would probably have the largest water footprint? Right choice. Pork is the best answer. This was one of the main ingredients used to preserve food. Strong choice. Salt is the right answer. A standard measuring instrument used in fish processing is. Correct response. All of the above is the most accurate answer. A device used to measure the temperature of fish the food is. Smart move. Thermometer is an accurate answer. All of these are disadvantages of processing foods except. Well done. Often fortified is the right choice. The first food science textbook was most likely a dash. Nice selection. Cookbook is the correct and valid answer. The technique used in preserving beef jerky food is dash. Solid response. Heating with high temperature is a valid choice. Oxygen accelerates this type of rancidity in fatty food. Well picked. Oxidative rancidity is the correct answer. Method of preserving food by lowering the water content. Good job. Your answer dehydration works well here. Cold processing methods involve the use of temperature. On track, low is the correct answer. What does the term processing refer to in technology? Sharp thinking. Changing the form or state of materials is the right choice. Food process category which creates ready-to-eat foods. Great job. Secondary food processing is the accurate answer. High-risk foods preferred by food spoilage bacteria are. Right again. Protein-rich foods is a valid answer. Spreading pathogens from one surface to another is dash. Excellent. Cross-contamination is a brilliant choice. It is used to hold food during preparation and cooking. Clear logic. Your choice mixing bowls is sound and 100% true. Identify a food that is processed to extend shelf life. Correct. Jam is the right answer. Which of the following are food preservation methods? You got it. Your choice, freezing, dehydrating, canning is right. What food does not need pressure canner when canning? Exactly. String beans make sense and it is right choice. Giardia, a parasite, is a dash of food safety hazard. Nicely done. Biological is a solid answer. The following sequence of food purchasing operation. Great thinking. All answers are correct is the right choice. What are the factors that lead to food deterioration? Perfect. Hydrogenation is the correct choice. Important unit operations in the food industry are. Smart pick. All of the above is the correct choice. The process of breaking down of food is called dash. You chose digestion, and it is correct. Which of the following is convection heat transfer? Well reasoned. Steam the sausages is the correct choice. An example of using the cold processing method is. Nice work. You chose freeze fruit, and it is correct.
Food preservation involves these reactions except.
You're right. Eliminate enzymatic reaction of food is the correct answer.
In general, food comes from two sources, namely dash.
Excellent choice. Vegetable and animal is the right answer.
The following is a food processing mechanism dash.
Good thinking. Ingredient preparation, processing, distribution, serving is the right answer.
It is a preventive food quality management system.
Correct response. Hazard analysis is the most accurate answer.
Amount of time a food can be preserved is known as.
Smart move. Shelf life is an accurate answer.
Indian food industry ranks dash in terms of size.
Well picked. Fifth is the correct answer.
Both are functionality of fat in food processing.
Good job. Your answer shortening. Mouth feel works well here.
Prices at which food is purchased depend on dash.
Perfect. Suppliers is the correct choice.
What are the food industry ozone processing use?
Smart pick. All of the above is the correct choice.
Which of the following tool is not an equipment?
Good thinking. Ladle is the right answer.
During absorption, food is transported into the.
You got it? Your choice circulatory system is right.
Which of the following refers to food spoilage?
Nicely done. White spots on the surface of cheddar is a solid answer.
Conversion of oil to vanaspati is an example of.
Great thinking. Food derivative is the right choice.
The method uses salt as its main preservative.
Correct. Salting is the right answer.
This is not an advantage of food preservation.
You're right. Deactivating toxins is the correct answer.
What are the three main types of food hazards?
Clear logic. Your choice biological hazards, chemical hazards, and physical hazards is sound and 100% true.
This processing activity involves pre-cooking.
Great job. Preparation is the accurate answer.
Used to slice, dice, or whip food ingredients.
Excellent choice. Food processor is the right answer.
Freezing is a food preservation method because.
Nice selection. Low temperature retards the growth of microbes is the correct and valid answer.
Which of the following is not a serving tool?
Solid response. Colander is a valid choice. Which is the first stage of food processing? You chose ingestion, and it is correct. The condition of good food packaging is dash.
Right choice. Protects quality for a long time is the best answer.
The process of intake of food is called dash.
Exactly. Ingestion makes sense, and it is right choice.
Companies that process foods are called dash.
On track. Food manufacturers is the correct answer.
How does adding sugar work to preserve food?
Strong choice. Water content is decreased is the right answer.
The dash helps in mixing saliva with food.
Well done. Tongue is the right choice.
Tools for processing banana chips accepted.
Bravo, steamer is the answer.
What is the function of the refractometer?
Nice work. You chose measures the sugar content of sap and syrup, and it is correct.
What is a disadvantage of preserved foods?
Valid point. Altering nutritional values is true.
What is the purpose of food preservation?
Right again. To extend shelf life and prevent spoilage is a valid answer.
The following statements are true except well reasoned. Food preservation decreases the food supply is the correct choice. How does freezing work to preserve food? Excellent. Removes water content by freezing water particles is a brilliant choice. What is the main goal of food packaging? Sharp thinking. To protect and preserve food is the right choice. Why do we clean and sanitize equipment? Right choice. To remove dirt and food material that harbor microorganisms is the best answer. What is your valley primarily known for? Valid point. Farming and food processing is true. What is the purpose of size reduction? Great thinking. To increase the surface area of the food material is the right choice.
The two types of foods to be purchased.
Well done. Perishable food and non-perishable food is the right choice. Name one method of food preservation. Right again. Canning is a valid answer. Shelf life of food is related to dash. Solid response. Time limit for which a food can be used is a valid choice. Explain the function of antioxidants. Bravo. Inhibits oxidative rancidity in food is the answer. An example of primary processing is well reasoned. Milling of wheat into flour is the correct choice. How to reduce food packaging waste. Perfect. Providing garbage is the correct choice. This is a physical property of food. Good thinking. Density is the right answer. It uses vinegar to preserve food. Correct. Pickling is the right answer. The best subject ever is dash. On track. Food studies is the correct answer. Fruit is an example of a dash. You chose dash high-acid food, and it is correct. Non-perishable food items. You got it. Your choice. Have low water activity is right. It used for slicing food. Excellent choice. Electric knife is the right answer. Important hurdles in food.
Sharp thinking. All of the above is the right choice.
What is the function mess?
Clear logic. Your choice to enhance the taste of food is sound and 100% true.
Why do we process foods? Excellent. All of the above is a brilliant choice. Kinds of food processing.
Nice work. You chose all of the above, and it is correct.
What is EP stand for?
Well picked. High pressure processing is the correct answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Good job. Your answer contact Narayan Changder works well here.